Why do estate agents get recruitment so wrong? Today I'm joined by Rob Graves, who is ex area director for Connell Sequence, and now he's an estate agency guru. And he also set up his own estate agency business in between that as well. So well done there. And why do estate agents get recruitment so wrong? Talk to me.
I think a lot of this is because I think we underappreciate exactly how important. Simon Whale, it was told me, it's probably the most important thing that all of us will do.
Isn't it in any business?
Yes.
The people business?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the most
shocking, isn't it?
It is. But yeah, I would challenge people to take a look at what their recruitment process is.
Oh, I thought you just waited for Floss to hand a notice in, run around like a headless chicken for a week, and then pick the phone up to a recruiting agency. I'm not paying that.
And then that is exactly it. And what you do to start with, in fact, is you do the job that Floss did for a while and then realise you didn't enjoy it that much and it's really hard work to do more than one job. And then you get in a panic and you put a bum on seat, I think is the favourite term.
What does I've got some opinions, but I'd like yours first. What does good recruitment look like in a estate agency?
So I believe, and there's a couple of things you need to do first. You need to actually be really clear on things like your mission, vision, and values. And I say that because
you're so right, but everyone's going to be saying he's talking about rubbish. I just want to get a bum on the seat. But you're so right. Why? Tell the ladies and gentlemen watching this why that is so important.
Well, firstly, the really good candidates, the ones you actually want, are going to take some convincing, because they've got choices, they've got options. So they need to be able to buy into your vision and your mission that you're currently on.
So it's not just a case of waving money in people's faces?
Nope. I mean, don't get me wrong, that always helps, but you could end up with the wrong people if they don't buy into everything else. And then my other really important one is about your values. And again, I've learned this, Chris, probably because I've got it wrong myself, that you go and you need to recruit based on your values. There's not a quicker way to dilute your personality throughout your business than employing people with different values. That's the quickest way. And the reality is most of what we do task-wise, you can teach people that bit, but you can't teach values. They're more inbred. And that's the importance of it. So you've got to get those bits right before you even start the recruitment process.
You also talked about mission as well. What do you mean? Talk about those as 3 words that you said.
Okay, so values, as you can stand, is what you stand for. That's, again, really important. The mission for me is what mission you're currently on, what you're trying to achieve relatively short term, year to 3 years, that sort of plan.
Okay.
Having a plan longer than that, I think, is really difficult, Chris, because in the time that I've worked in agency...
Rob, I need an egg. I ain't got time for all this.
Yeah.
I need an egg. Or are you saying that if you don't have all that, you'll always have this problem?
You'll always have this problem.
Because, I mean, what I do know is this. I mean, I went up to Scotland with my cousins at the weekend, and he runs a factory of over 80 people, and they're manufacturers. They make some really big stuff. And I said, "What's your biggest problem?" He says, "Staff."
It is everybody's problem. And when you get good people, it accelerates your business. It makes such a difference. And likewise, when you get it wrong, and when you don't deal with the fact that you've got it wrong, the cost is immense to the business, far more than losing a month doing all this stuff than you would do by employing the wrong person.
Any other tips?
I guess, again, about the process, if you end up in a conversation like we're doing, it doesn't look the same as you look at it from a third party. So it'd be interesting to see what the video looks like when we get out. But I think it's important to have that perspective, so get somebody else to ask the questions. So what advice would you give, Chris?
Everything you said is bang on, so let's assume that that's a goer.
Okay.
Which is a big assumption. I would be having a pool of people for each job role that I could parachute in.
Yep.
The magic thing is this, is how many times have you approached a neg and the only thing you've got to offer is cash, which again could wind the rest of the guys up and girls, because they do talk. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, I agree that they should be able to talk, and you should be able to look them in the whites of the eyes and tell them exactly why you've paid somebody what you've paid them.
I think a big one is create a target list and then start talking to them on a long-term basis. So they basically fall in love with you as opposed to their shitty boss. So, ring up for comparable evidence, even though that, in the old days, we had to ring up for comparable evidence.
Yes.
And then pick their brains and say, oh, I see you had a cracking month for listings, well done, and actually be genuine about it. And, if it's a valuer, praise them for valuing. If they're a great neg, talk to them about them being a great neg, and basically build relationships up with all the great negs and valuers within like a 20-mile radius if you're in, say, a market town, over a period of, say, 1, 2, 3 years. So they fall in love with you. So when you do need it, it's not a cold call or...
Yeah, we used to call that our subs bench. We used to have a list of names of people who were ready to step into, especially as an area director when you're looking after 17 branches.
But did you actually talk to these people? What's
Yeah, we used to go to things called coffee chats and things like that, Chris. So we take people for a coffee.
And would many people go for a coffee?
Yeah. Most people go for a coffee.
And you actually say, that I haven't got a job, but can I meet you?
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. It's a bit of smoke up their arse. It makes it feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah, nobody...
And you'd actually say to them, I ain't got a job, but I just wanted to meet you.
Yeah.
Would you then have another coffee 6 months later?
Yeah, well, I could honestly say there was probably one of my best recruits managers. I knew her for 18 months before I employed her. And
so you're doing exactly what we're on the same hymn sheet here. You built a relationship up with her, so therefore when she did, you all did.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I think I offered her a job in the first 6 months and she said no, but I just kept the relationship going.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a people business, and let's not forget that. Thanks for your time today, Rob.
Thank you, Chris.